Power has a price. Because magic is just thematic fluff when it's only power. It's when it's costly that it gets interesting. Characters are just bundles of unmet desires, so when you give them a shortcut, a tool they can use, it creates opportunities for you to reveal who they really are. This is where the story comes from. Hi, I'm James from the WorldCraft Club, and today you're going to be hearing a little from me as I talk around a recent interview that Dave had with Clay Boone, author of Where the Shadows Are the Darkest, a dark Western fantasy story. I want to pull one idea from this conversation, really. That magic can become the engine for character-driven stories, but only when there's a cost to pay.
And as for the magic in the story, okay, so let's think of real life, whether you're a believer or you're not. A prayer can be answered, won't be answered. Magic, on the other hand, you take a cult, you have to give something. So in the occult, the belief is that demons gain power in the world by taking something from you. So maybe it's like a chair or a doll. They get a little more power when they get that. Or maybe it's, you have to do something for them. But that is how they get their power. And then in return, they give you some kind of power. So the magic used, it takes something from the user. Okay, so when you use it, you might lose your mind. You might go into a coma. It might lash out. You might lose control of it. But I didn't want it to be like some guy flying around on a broomstick shooting lightning out of his fingers. I wanted you to feel it. Like the important thing about Where Shadows are the Darkest, I wanted you to feel the characters, the world they lived in, what they were experiencing, and what they had to pay to get what they wanted.
It tamps down the magic in the world so that every level 5 adventurer isn't just casting fireball at every problem that comes their way.
So what this does really effectively is you have a character. They want something, but they've got to take a circuitous path to get there. Using magic, they can cheat that system, but it imposes a cost. The cost reveals something more about their character than you otherwise would have known simply by their pursuit. So what that adds up to is a more robust and well-defined character. Basically a cheat code.
I mean, the knowledge might be difficult to get a hold of, but it also just the cost of it and the reality of what you're doing is going to push a lot of people away from it. And so I think there's multiple archetypes that you'll find in there. There's the sort of Faustian archetype that is really after worldly gain. And I think you've done something interesting with that kind of character. But I don't want to spoil anything. And I think there's also just sort of the the dedicated sorcerer who that's just their life is delving into this stuff, and they seem to be attracted to it for its own sake. But yeah, I found your characters, just about every one of them was sympathetic. Certainly they all had sympathetic reasons for their actions, for their character. Some more forgivable than others. You did give characters motives and reasons for how they acted that could be understood on some level, even if their actions were inexcusable.
Well, that was my most important part of my book. I kept asking my beta reader and my editor, how are the characters? How are the characters? Because unfortunately, the Western genre suffers from that tropey stereotype, oh, here's the man coming, bring law into the dusty town. And I really wanted to stay away from that, or the kind of characters that oh, I'm the sad guy who did a lot of terrible things and now I'm gonna it's just, I really wanted them to be unique but understandable. And I don't know, I delve a lot into the psychology of the characters. Okay, if this happened to him, how would he compensate? Because typically when we have some kind of yearn inside of us or need inside of us, we compensate in an unconscious way, and that develops as part of our personality. And so when I would create these characters, I would say, okay, this is what this is what set him on this trajectory. What did he do with it? What did it make him? Did it turn him this way or this way? Why? And that was my most important thing.
It's telling, I think, that the discussion of magic in Boone's setting immediately trails into a discussion about character. It's the first thing that occurs to Dave to discuss in relationship with it. The world-building artifact, magic in this case, has an impact on the characters. It informs their growth, the decisions they make. Ultimately, a character is a bundle of frustrated yearnings, and the magic system contributes to this by providing a whole vehicle for them to carry out their desires. It also feeds deeper layers of their character in the process. The best question you can ask your setting is, what is this thing doing in the story? It's a simple principle of design in nearly any field. What am I trying to accomplish? The magic system helps explain something deep about each of the characters involved and connects the reader with them magnificently. Those characters then return the favor to the world and make it feel like a richer tapestry. We'll end with this thought from Clay.
The world is created by the characters within the world to some extent, right? So, I mean, in theory, there's people within your world somewhere doing something that causes your world to be the way it is.
Look, I think this is a great place to leave you. Not just magic, but every system in your setting can and should be contributing to your character's decision-making. This leads to a setting that feels rich and indwelt with the characters. Fleshed out and well-realized characters then contribute to the tapestry of your setting and deepen immersion. So lastly, when designing a system in your setting, begin with the end in mind. What is this supposed to do? Ask, how is this thing impacting your characters and what it reveals about them? The full version of this podcast is available, linked in the description below. If this helped, drop us a like and don't forget to subscribe and join us on the World Building Discord to have more conversations just like this one. Happy world building.